Cubans celebrate no local transmission of COVID-19 for first time in 4 months.
Here's a summary of the article.
Havana, Cuba for the first time in 130 days on Sunday said there were no new domestic cases of COVID-19 as most of the country moved into the final phase of resuming normal activities with masks and social distancing. Francisco Duran, head of epidemiology at the Ministry of Public Health, and who has updated the country daily on the pandemic, took off his mask during the national broadcast for only the second time deliver the good news. Duran, on Saturday did the same, reporting just a single domestic case in Havana. Only a handful of COVID-19 cases were reported in Cuba over the last week, all in Havana. The capital's 2.2 million residents remain at the first phase of 3 stages of reopening where they can once more move around on public and private transport, go to the beach and other recreation centers, and enjoy a seaside drive just in time for the summer break. Each phase allows capacity at venues to increase from an initial 60%. Interprovincial transportation begins during Phase 2, while Phase 3 includes schools reopening. Phase 3 broadens international travel depending on risk.
This post received a score of 29,000, with an upvote ratio of 96%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Oh look, they all wear masks with less resources, no problems and no complaining. Weird.
They missed out on the Make America's Garbage Again parade.
They felt it the moment the Chinese mask ship was stopped and was forbidden to deliver to Cuba because of the embargo.
I'm an American and I have no love for the Chinese government, but they should have said fuck you and still delivered. It makes me sick how we treat Cuba. My wife's Cuban, and if America wants to block trade so be it, but Cuba should be allowed to take support from whoever else wants to help.
Sanctions, embargoes placed on countries are simply inhumane. These sanctions are wielded as strategic tools for political gains and they only hurt people in the sanctioned countries from the lower socioeconomic strata. They're a crime against humanity and any country who places and enforces it should be tried at the International Court of Justice.
Funny because to my knowledge my country will not appear in international court.
Thank you to Bush for rolling out the which protects Americans the risk of prosecution by the ICC. Plus, in recent developments the recently, in usual freedom fashion the no clue why people are swooning over Bush on Reddit when his picture or video is posted. Him and his crony or the other way around, Cheney are both war criminals and should be tried as such. He's as bad and in some areas maybe even worse.
No clue why people are swooning over Bush on Reddit when his picture or video is posted. Him and his crony or the other way around, Cheney are both war criminals and should be tried as such. And, no, he's not better than Trump. He's as bad and in some areas maybe even worse. Because sadly he's not Trump.
Ha! We got them beat. 77,000 in one day. Suck on that you socialist, mask-wearing fools.
Murica. Murica.
Cuba also exports doctors around the world.
Yup, Cuba is leading the world in physicians per capita. I was always surprised about that stat. What's with Cuban culture, education that pushes them to train so many physicians? There's some sort of historical event or some such that pushes them to do that. Did Cuba as a culture just up and decide that they'd be the prime spot for physician export?
Most Cubans go to college, but college doesn't work the same as in other countries. The government influences and directs the career you end up taking. The Cuban government reaches a deal with, let's say Brazil. The Cuban government will send X amount of doctors, and Brazil will pay the Cuban government directly, let's say $6,000 per doctor per month. TLDR. A lot of Cubans become doctors because it's the career path with the most chance of obtaining what passes for getting ahead in Cuba.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.